dear young people of America, do not be afraid. The deepest joy there is in life is the joy that comes from God.
Young Church Deja Vu here, guys. All right, Young Church episode 12. Hey, we've been through a lot here today.
Yeah.
We've really been
a journey.
It's been
a
through
lot.
a lot.
It's been a lot.
You know, we did a woman in prayer kind of meeting. We waited for we got some food.
Yeah.
Waited for some batteries to charge. We did a practice run with the podcast.
Yeah, practice.
And you know what? We're here.
It's an adventure.
Another episode here. Two guests, two youth leaders. I'll allow them to introduce themselves. We'll start here with Frida.
Hey guys, my name is Frida. I am 17 and I go to Milligan High School.
Hi, I'm Allie. I'm 18 and I'm a senior at St. Anthony High School.
Yeah, and one thing we were just talking about was you guys have both been leaders here. This is your first year. This is your second year, right? But you've been in the program for 4 years.
We're
both
second year.
Second year.
We're
Okay.
the exact same.
Yeah.
Exact same.
Yeah.
Okay.
All throughout.
We just
Okay.
followed each other basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I asked, what made you guys want to come back to leadership?
I said that I feel like my leaders really were what like motivated me. I had Elise, David, and Alma, and I feel like they're like the way that they like carried the youth like groups and the small talks and everything that they did. Like I really liked the way that they like talked, and they really like made a great community, not only for me but like for the kids around me. And I really wanted to like do the same as them. I wanted to give back the same energy that they gave to me, and I really wanted to like give back not only to like my community but like also to myself and help myself grow in my faith, because I feel like not only am I helping like kids, but I'm also helping myself with my faith journey.
Yeah. Like they really led well. Like,
Yeah,
and you
they-
could actually like look up to them, and
They were good role models.
They were in sports, they were in like different clubs, activities, but they were also like very strongly pursuing Christ.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. What about you, Allie?
I had great leaders both my years. I had Erica and David my first year, I remember, and that was great. But I think also just like what drew me in was Christ-centered friendships. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was looking for that. I was longing for that. That was like a part of my life that I was missing. And so just seeing like these girls like pray over each other or have matching Stubby shirts with like religious stuff, like I was like, I really want that in my life. And so I joined leadership.
What's your favorite Stubby shirt design?
I have two.
Okay, let's
Okay.
hear it.
The most recent one, it was like the Eras tour, but it's Jesus, because like
Okay.
That was
Okay.
a good one.
That was
What's the other one?
that's like my honorary one. My favorite one is the Only Way Home, like the Spider-Man. I love
I
Oh,
love that one. That
yeah,
one is
that
so
one's good.
That one is good.
and
I
I'm
feel
like
Yeah.
really jealous of anyone that has it. So,
You don't have it?
no, and like
we should get some.
every time I
should.
see someone like wearing it at mass or something, I'm like,
Oh yeah, it's like the Spider-Man
the three of
meme
them,
where they're all
three of them,
pointing
they're
at
all
each
like-
other, and it's
yeah.
like the Holy Trinity.
Yeah.
So yeah, one thing we do for our summer teen Catholic retreat is we go to Steubenville, but we have shirts for every day of the conference, and those shirts are like pop culture references that we also make like religious kind of like shirts about it. So it was like the Spider-Man meme, but it was like a Trinity
that was
thing.
that was a good one. I like that
that
Yeah.
one was so good. It's a
Yeah.
one. I
great
was gonna say
shirt.
the Tyler Creator one. Call him if you
Call
get
me
lost.
out.
That's
Yeah,
a good
that
one.
was a good
I
one,
like
too.
That one.
Yeah, I know. There's been a lot of murmurs, a lot of people talking about our merch that we have. So we're gonna have to open a merch store, open a Shopify account.
We should.
guys should.
Yeah, we'll have to drop ship some
Mhm.
shirts out to
Yeah.
people. You know, you can
Yeah.
get your Spider-Man meme shirt, things like that.
I wear the shirts to school sometimes. Some people ask me
Yeah?
where I got them. I'm like, St. Cornelius.
Oh, all right,
Yeah.
all right. Youth ministry represent.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. So we're gonna kind of pivot. I will just get right into it. One of the things I wanted to have you guys talk about was your college apps. You guys applied. We already went through it. You're staying somewhere in California. You applied a bunch of state UC schools in California. Ali wants to get out of here. She wants to leave us. She wants to leave Cornelius. That's what she said. And but she's applying to a lot of schools in the South, but specifically a lot of schools that have a strong nursing program. So that's what you want to do. What are you majoring in?
I'm majoring in biology.
Biology.
Yeah,
What do you want to do with that?
I want to be a pharmacist, so I'm gonna take it into med school and then go into pharmacy from there.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I considered that for a moment. That's a good career.
Mhm.
Okay, you guys are both in the health
Yeah,
health
yeah.
industry.
Oh, we're
Wow.
helping each other out. She'll
Yeah.
be the nurse and I'll give her the meds.
Okay. Wow.
We're gonna be
Yeah.
tag
Yeah.
teaming even in college.
Wow. Okay. Okay. So part of the college app process is something known as PIQs, personalized insight. What was
Personal
it?
insight
Yeah,
questions.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you. And so part of that, I wanted to hear how your faith, how your relationship with Christ influenced, informed how you view yourself, how you responded. So Frida, how was it for you?
It was pretty good. I feel like these questions really make you like think about yourself deeply, and you really have to reflect on who you are as a person. And like they really want to get to know who you are, and then so like these questions really like make you like take a step back and be like, "Hey, who am I? Like, what have I done for my community? Who am I?" And I find myself like even with the questions about like my volunteer work, like I have to reflect and be like, hey, like what do I do? And I like go to church, I help here, I help like at elementary, and I feel like that really gets to reflect as who I am as a person and what I'm doing for my community. And then on top of that, with the personal insight questions, like there's certain questions that really make you like dive deep on like your personal life. And I feel like there's one that really stuck out to me that I said that was the one about like something that I've overcame, like a great challenge, and like how I got over that and how I'm doing academically. And I said that for me personally, it was with a cheer. And like just this like past, springtime, I didn't make the cheer team, and I was on the team for 3 years, and I've been doing cheer since I was in 5th grade. So like you can imagine like the heartbreak that comes with that, because it's like, you know, I'm doing this sport, I'm giving up every Friday, like I'm over here not going to youth groups because I have to be at practice. And so it was like this constant battle of like, I was giving so much of myself like for this sport that it was so hard to like let go of it. Like I was literally like losing myself within the sport, because I was creating myself. Like I was like, I am the sport, I'm doing everything for this sport. Like my cheer was me, like that's who I was. I was a cheerleader, I was this, like, you know what I mean? And then after that whole incident, I was like, you know what, like maybe that isn't who I am. Like maybe that's what I wasn't meant for that. And I feel like Christ kind of like, he did that for a reason. Like he wants me to see who I am without like cheer. Like he's like, hey, like why are you like paying so much attention to this when you should be paying attention to me? And I feel like when he got rid of that, I realized, hey, like I'm a child of God. Like I am his child. Like my identity is within him. And that's what I want to do. Like I want to be with Christ. And then from there, like since then, like now reflecting back, like to this day, like I'm like, hey, like I'm doing better. Like my life is so much happier than it was like a year ago. Like I was in cheer and I was sad, and now I'm like happy. I'm with God, and like I have this great community. So it's been really good. It's been a really good journey.
Yeah, that's cool. So like you'll literally talk about like your identity in Christ in your PIQ.
Yeah.
Oh, that's super cool. What about you, Ali? How was the PIQ and your faith?
The PIQs, I did it after I did the Common App schools first, the Southern schools. So it's just a personal essay. It's 650 words. That was easier for me because it's just one story. But with the PIQs, it's like say the same stuff, but in 350 words. And I was like, the prompt about describe a significant struggle in your life in 350 words or less. I was like, I cannot. It was hard for me to do.
You have to like write in like poetry.
Yeah,
it's like super succinct.
The word count tool was getting overused.
It is hard.
Yeah.
Getting like 350 words under, it's not.
It's
Chat GPT or what?
No.
No.
Oh, did I say that?
No, I'm scared of ChatGPT.
You're scared of Chat GPT.
If you've ever seen Avengers Ultron,
Oh
you know
my
when
gosh,
it takes
I know
over
what you're talking
the
about. It's like
AI, he takes over the world.
Every Ultron.
Yeah,
I'm like not into the Marvel stuff.
You need
at
it. You
all.
gotta get in that.
Wow.
You gotta get into that.
that's like my big fear. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
So a little Chat GPT takeover.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. Let's get back on track here. So what were we talking about? We were talking about
350 words.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
So I ended up I wrote about youth ministry for one of the PIQs. I can't remember what the prompt was, but it was something about community or something. I don't even know. I wrote about youth ministry, and I wrote about writing my first talk for retreat year 1, a year ago this time. Okay. And I wrote about like being so scared to do it and like thinking I was going to fail, or just like becoming a leader in general and juggling that with school and everything. So I wrote about Christ in that sense. And then for the significant struggle, I wrote about like a struggle that I had, and then coming to know God through that.
Yeah. So part of those PIQs is like part of who I am part of me writing to get into this school is who I am through Jesus, like how Jesus has worked in me, has made me to be the person that I am with my, with the things I'm like joyful about and happy about, and my identities in him and this and that. And so you kind of really just were allowed to talk about yourself through that lens.
Yeah, at first I wasn't going to talk about, I was going to not say anything religious at all.
Yeah, okay.
Because I only applied to one private school. And so I was kind of scared that it was going to, I don't know if you felt this way, it was going to like knock you for like talking about religion.
Yeah, I was scared too. I was like, can I talk about religion to a school? Like, are they going to say anything? Like, do they have the same views? Like,
okay.
I was like, is that a touchy subject?
Yeah,
But
I could see that.
I was like, let me just do it. Like, if what happens, happens. Like, I don't know, because I wanted them to know that I'm really.
You wanted to be authentic.
Yeah, that's who I am. Like, I'm really like into my like religion, and I was like,
well, I'm glad you guys did that, but let's talk a little bit more about that. Like, I feel like there was like a hesitation there.
Yeah, nobody ever like says if you can't. Like, nobody really talks about it, and I was like,
I was speaking about it with my college counselor, and she's Jewish, and so we just kind of like, I'm like, oh yeah, Jesus, and she's like she doesn't get it, but I was talking to her about it, and I was asking her advice, like if I should bring up my religion in my PIQs and in my Common App essay. And then she was like, well, do you feel like it's a big, like, who are you without God? And I was like, oh, well, that's kind of a big question. I was like, I'm not me without God. Like, I don't have anything to say. I have no, like, I don't have anything to say about myself that's like worth writing about and that I really truly love and I'm passionate about without God. Like, he put those things in my life.
Yeah.
So I have to give him credit where credit's due. Like, I can't talk about how I've like thrived in youth ministry because God put me there. I can't talk about a struggle I went through because God put me through it to teach me something. Like, I had to bring him up because if not, the PIQs weren't gonna be written, if that makes sense.
What did she say to that?
She was like, okay, well then she gave me the go ahead. And like, I mean, I liked my PIQs. I liked the way they turned out, and I gave God a shout out, and like, I think like, I give him credit where credit's due. Like, I think in like the 2 out of 4 prompts I did.
Yeah. Okay. And so you kind of took the same mentality as Ali?
Yeah. I applied to USD, so I know that's a Catholic school. So they asked like a Catholic question too. So that one I was like, oh yeah, I can do that. Like, like they asked one, and I was like that. But yeah, it is really hard to like, because I went to a college counselor too, and they're like, yeah, they sound good to me, like they're fine, like turn them in. Yeah. But I was still like hesitant, like, hey, like, is this okay? Like, I don't know what to do. But I just, you just do it. Yeah,
the USD Catholic question: are you Catholic? Yes or no? That was the only thing. I'm just kidding. I just roasted.
It was more into like what can you bring, like from like why do you want to go to our school, and like what can you bring. So I just talked about like youth ministry,
about your faith and things like that. Okay, I didn't know you applied there as well. So that is a Catholic school.
I forgot. I was just like thinking about it. I was like, oh hey, I applied there too. But
and then your private school was TCU.
Yes.
Did they ask questions about the faith?
Yeah, they did. I got invited. I applied and I got accepted, and then they sent me another email about applying for a full ride. So it was like, it was a scary. It was like 2 500-word essays, and I spoke about religion in both of them. Okay. Because it was about like, how do you follow with the TCU values that we have, and then describe something that made you want to choose the career path that you're choosing. Okay. And so
those are good.
Yeah. I was like, oh, easy. Well, it wasn't easy. It was scary, but I was like, I know exactly what to write about.
Yeah.
So it was good.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I'm glad you guys did that. I think another thing that's important is not only you writing the PIQs with Christ in mind, but also how you process your next phase of your life with Christ in mind. So it's not just that, but it's like, what if you don't get into any of your schools? Like, what does that say about you? Like, what if you don't get into any of them? How are you going to feel like leaving your church community, going somewhere else? Maybe we can talk about that a little bit, like Jesus in the next phase. Yeah. Like, what would that look like? How do you feel? Do you feel ready? You scared? Like, what's going on?
I feel like I'm pretty scared personally. Like, I don't know, like, what do I do with that? Like, this church, like, like this church has like been there for me, and it's like something to push me back up, like when I'm feeling down, and I just don't really like know where to go from there. Like, I know like if I go out like further out, like I can find like a church there, but I feel like it's not going to be the same. It's not going to have the same exact like feelings that I get from this church, and it's going to be hard to like move on and find somewhere new.
Yeah, that is a fear that's understandable. But I would encourage you to be hopeful. God is so good. There's many good like Catholic communities out there. Like St. Cornelius is great, but it's not the only great community. You know, there's tons of great Catholics out there. Okay, what about you, Allie?
About like not getting into any of the colleges, that was like when I submitted my college apps, I had nightmares about it, like not getting into. Yeah, I was like, I had a reoccurring dream that I like went downstairs and I was like, Mom, Dad, like I'm gonna sleep on the couch, like I didn't get into college, and it was like a big fear of mine. And I think like I prayed about it, like when I had Sunday mass like maybe 20 minutes after I submitted my apps. And so like when you go around and you ask for prayer intentions at the beginning, I was sitting by this like older man and I was like, you know, like I really just need prayer and like letting go of these college applications. Like I submitted them, they're in the website, they're there, like I can't do anything now and I need help with peace and just kind of letting it go.
Yeah. Why do you think we don't want to let go of those college app decisions? Like, why do you think we hold on to it so tight? Like, you know, like why do you guys care so much about whether you go to UCLA or Alabama or I'm genuinely curious, you know?
I feel like if I like don't make it and I don't do good, I'm like, what did I do all this work for? Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm in a very like prestige program, so I'm like have to take at least 5 APs. And I've been like taking a bunch of hardcore classes, a bunch of APs. Like I've been putting in so much work. I'm doing all these extracurriculars, and I'm kind of like, hey, like I do all this. So like, what does that say about me? Like, am I like, not that I'm not good enough, but like, am I not good enough? Like, can I not get into these schools? Like, I have really good grades. I'm like keeping up my work. I'm like balancing life all together, and I like can't get into any colleges. It's kind of like, it's like, how does that work out? Like, you know?
Yeah, yeah. It's a similar kind of thing for you, Allie.
Yeah, I'm also in like I take like all APs, all honors classes right now, and it's like all the sleepless nights, so much caffeine, like so much work, and to not have any like kind of satisfaction or like end reward for all that would really not be fun.
Well, I feel like a more realistic view is that you get into some. It's not like you're going to get rejected from all of them, but it might not be like your top one. That's probably a more realistic is
that's
like you'll get into some, but it won't be like the one that you want.
Yeah, it won't be.
How will you trust God in that though? Because it's like if it was God's will, you would have gotten in.
I feel like he has a plan for all of us, and like what's meant to be is meant to be. Like
okay.
Like I feel like with Shira, that was it. Like that made me like from there I've learned like within life, like if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Like sometimes like things are there for a reason and we're not there for a reason. Like he wants what's best for us, and maybe this place is what's best. And it'll be a journey for you to like live, and you'll figure it out on your own. Like life is like a big journey, and you'll see like what in the end you'll be like, oh hey, like he did this for me. Like that was good. It worked out.
What I sense there is like you really do trust God.
Yeah.
And so like you know like he's had your back when you thought like it was the end of the world with cheer. Yeah. And then it's like, oh wait, like my life's so much better.
Yeah, I'm like a person that overthinks a lot, so I'm like, hey, like what's going on here? Like I can't, but I just kind of have to like it's every now and then I'm like, you know, I need to let go. Like let go and let God. That's what I say. Let go and let God.
Let go and let God. Okay. What about for you, Allie?
I mean, honestly, like the same, like let go and let God. I always go back to the verse, like every time I'm having like my mom calls it difficult seasons in our lives. So she always says like this summer, she's like, Allie, you're having a difficult season in your life. And I always just tell myself, I go back to the verse for my first difficult season in my life that I was given was John 13:7. Jesus replied, you do not understand what I am doing now, but someday you shall. I say that to myself like almost every day. Like any hard day, any moment where I'm like, I wish this wouldn't have happened, or I wish this happened differently, or I can't sleep because I'm thinking about something embarrassing I did like 8 years ago. Like I always think about like it happened for a reason. God
Can you
made
say
it
that
that
verse
way.
one more time?
Okay. John 13:7. Jesus replied, you do not understand what I am doing now, but someday you shall.
That's really good. That's really good.
I have like a prayer journal. I have that written like on the.
That's like
I've
your
written
verse.
everywhere.
That's like your,
my home screen. That's my
oh,
my
that's
verse.
your home. You're
Yeah.
not playing.
Yeah, it's my Instagram bio. It's all of
Yeah.
it.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Okay,
No, I do
dang.
not play about.
Okay.
If I was to get a tattoo, that would be the tattoo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, that's actually a good segue. The Instagram bio, because we're going to talk about social
We
media
were.
too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah.
Allie.
Planned. It was planned.
Just expert.
Good job following the script. Okay. So how do you show your faith on social media? Is that, I know you said you post a lot of things like.
Yeah, I was saying I post a lot of like our St. Cornelius things. I'm like, hey guys, show up, like come here. Or I just like post a lot of stuff about like St. Cornelius and my religion.
Do you feel, okay, this might be an interesting question. Do you feel more comfortable talking about your faith virtually or in person? Do you get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
would you feel like more people will backlash online or in person if you were to like speak up in your class with people?
For
You know?
For me, I feel like it'd be easier virtually because I feel like in person I'd hate to hear like somebody like say in person like, hey, like I don't agree with that. Like I would hate like in person to experience that, but like virtually I feel like it's like you're hiding behind a screen, like you know what I mean?
So even if you got like a negative comment or whatever
Yeah.
virtually, it wouldn't affect you as much as in person.
I mean, it still would affect me, but I don't think as much as like in person because it's like it's on the phone, so I'm just kind of like, oh, okay. But like in person, I'll be like, oh, like that's to my face. I kind of like hit hard.
Yeah. So do you find it? You probably share more about your faith online though than you do in person. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How about you, Allie?
I'm not a big poster on social media.
Yeah.
Like I try to, especially like in recent months, like I've been like going on phases where I'll like delete it for a week and then go back or just like I just try not to be on it because it always makes me unhappy. And so I'm trying to stay off of it. And so I like to speak about my faith like in my actions, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Like I just try to like be the church, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
I always just try to be a good Catholic and like talk about like, oh, I'm going to, or I talked about church today. I was like, I'm going to like do something for my church. I'm really excited. Like I'm really, really passionate about my parish.
Yeah.
And so I like to talk about
Yeah,
that.
I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty cool. In high school, like if someone would have said, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna go like film a podcast," I feel like that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Like-
I've been all over like my phone, like, hey guys, I'm gonna go film a podcast. I'm gonna be a
Yeah.
YouTuber. Like it's really cool. Like it's like oh, you're doing that? Like that's cool. Like I
Yeah.
didn't know they
Yeah.
had that. Like you know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah, that's why we started it. We really just want.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many people like you guys. Like we have so many strong leaders here. So many strong young adults. Like I feel like there's a lot of energy, a lot of youth here. So I just wanted like you guys all talk about Jesus.
yeah.
let's do that.
That's good. And then, like people love being on their phones nowadays and like YouTube too. So it's perfect to
Yeah.
like, oh, it's right here on my phone. Like let me pull it up. Let me listen to
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is one way social media can be used in a good
Yeah.
way,
Yeah.
right? Having these type of episodes and stuff like that. But do you say generally social media like hurts your faith in your spiritual life?
Yes, definitely. I feel
Yeah?
like it like
How?
takes a toll on like who you are. Like it's all these unrealistic standards sometimes, and
Mm.
you're kind of just trying to compare. Like not trying to, but people can find themselves comparing themselves to like what they see online and be like, oh, like why am I not like this? Why am I not like her? Why am I not like
Mm.
you know? It's just a bunch of like unrealistic standards to follow.
Yeah, so it's like you're a child of God, but you're also human, and so then there's a part of you that's just like struggles still to like retain that identity because you're
Mhm.
being pulled into like so many different directions. Yeah, okay. Do you I'm sure you guys try to like feed the algorithm to get like Catholic or religious or like faith
Yeah.
filled stuff, but
Mhm.
you probably also get like other things that distract in there, and it probably affects your prayer life. No,
Yeah,
like sometimes you want to pray, but then you like go on your phone or like
that's me with TikTok a lot. Like
Yeah.
I just like I'm like, oh, I'm just on my phone. Like, you know, I'm just like scrolling and
Sure.
scrolling, and then sometimes I'll like come over a post about like prayer and like God. I'm like, oh, I should probably pray. Oh, I should probably do this. Like, you know, instead.
I know. But then it's so hard to like put the phone down.
It is. I should put screen time. I used to have screen time. Like that's a really good like
Yeah?
that's a
Okay.
good like blocker to like, hey, like get off your phone. Like you need like, you know, that's a good.
Yeah. Do you do anything? You delete your apps off and on?
Yeah, like if I see something like really upsets me, I'll just be like, okay, I'm deleting Instagram for the week, like, or just it
Really?
just
Okay.
depends. I'm very like kind of it's kind of chaotic.
What do you mean, Ali? Say more. What are you talking about?
I just, if I see someone post something and it's like something I don't want to see at that moment, I'm like, I have free will. Like as I'm getting older, I'm realizing like if something makes me sad, I can remove it from my life. And if something someone posted on Instagram is making me sad, or it's making me think something like about myself, I'm like, oh, I can just delete it. I can just not. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What kind of stuff is it?
This summer I was going through a breakup this summer, so I was just like, you know, I don't want to see this.
Oh,
and
yeah,
so I just
yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm just deleting.
No, that's totally fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that definitely helps. Yeah, I feel like that's a whole thing. Relationships and like social media, like trying to move on from relationships is probably really hard because it's like you still see them, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's hard. I'm better now though. It was a leadership retreat was like you were praying over me. I was like all like shaking and sad, but I am trusting God. God is good.
Time heals
time heals all wounds.
Yeah.
And now I have more time for church.
Yeah, and of course, what's that verse again? You can just repeat that verse.
Oh, John 13:7. Jesus replied, "You do not understand what I'm doing now, but someday you shall."
Yeah, and that's it. Just keep that repetition.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. How about Frida, so you put time limits on your social media, or you used to?
Well, my parents did it for me. That was that.
Okay. That helped.
My parents used to do that. But I wish I could do it again because that really helped. Like, that really got me, like, hey, let's get off our phone. Like, you know?
Mm-hmm. It's going to be a really random question, but I'm just throwing. Would you guys do, like, devotionals and, like, put it online? Would you feel comfortable doing that?
Yeah.
I put it on my close friends before.
Like little Bible reflections. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you guys would be
I like the one that we had recently that's coming up for Advent. The one that's on St. Cornelius. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. No, but like if you praying and like you speaking.
I would do it in a group. I actually, for my birthday, I got a pink Bible. And so I feel like I would do it
for your
just
18th birthday.
Yes.
Recent. Yeah. When was it again? When was
October 22nd.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of farther.
It's somewhat recent. I'm just trying to tell myself I don't want to be old. So
yeah.
That's crazy.
It must be sad.
Ancient.
No, like
dang.
Yeah.
I like earlier too when we were in the woman in prayer group and you're like, yeah, like everyone here is like 20. You like look at me, you're like 27, like I barely make the cut. Like 27 and younger or something.
I didn't know how I was guesstimating. I was like 25, 20. It's like grad school.
Like, let me just.
No, I was doing quick math in my head. I was like grad school
you were
therapy.
You were actually thinking about that?
Yeah, I was like.
You don't have to think about me.
No, I really like math, so I was like trying to do addition in my head, like, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that is something. Yeah, our youth program here is like a lot of like our core, myself, like we're all relatively young compared to some other churches.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that probably, how do you guys experience that? How do you experience having core members that are like college age, you know?
I like it personally. I feel like I can make more of a good connection and it's like, oh, hey, like they're my age. It's not like somebody who's like way, way older and I'm like, oh, like how do I really like talk to them? Like, no, like you guys are like college kids and like you guys are living your lives too. And you guys understand because I feel like you guys are closer to like our age. So you kind of understand more. So what we're going through. So like you guys are more, I feel like you guys would be more understanding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably adds to the experience.
It's good and it's relatable. And I feel like as a candidate, it was so much better to have someone that's like younger because you guys have been around and you guys have the internet. And I feel like there's such a divide between people that don't know how to use the internet. And does that make sense? And not in a bad way, but like the internet changes everything. Like there's such a distinct difference in generations between those who grew up using the internet or like some sort of television. You know what I mean?
Like people.
Versus not.
Wait, what do you mean?
Like you have an Instagram, right?
Yes, I do.
But like someone maybe 25, 30 years older than you might not have an
between 25 and 30. I'm like, Ali, all right. It's personal now.
Like they might not have an Instagram and I feel like there's certain things that like I always talk about it with my mom, like there's certain things that she doesn't understand like
Got it. Oh,
You know
just
what I
like
mean?
culture, lingo, like
yeah,
memes,
exactly.
Yes.
like TikTok, like
or just like
different.
Yeah.
social media etiquette. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
that's
things like
actually
that.
really true. I've never really thought about that. That's a really good point. Like, if I were to just completely get off social media, I feel like I probably would have a disconnect a little bit from you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, I do limit my social media a lot, but yeah, if I just completely got rid of it, I feel like a lot of things would like go over my head.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad,
Yeah.
right? Because we spend so much
I'm
time
on it.
on social media. I don't know. Most people's screen
feel-
time is
I
like
think
what?
my biggest fear is like getting off of social media. Like I did
Really?
it, yeah, because I feel like I did it for Lent once. I deleted Instagram and I was like, hey, like I'm missing everything. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of what it felt
I'm
like.
missing everything.
And it's kind of bad that I like think that because
Yeah.
that's like there's a whole bunch of like life out here, but I like deleted it and I was like, what's going on? Like, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of hard to
Yeah.
like let go from it because that's what everybody's posting and everybody's putting like everything, and I'm kind of like, well, what's going on? I am like out of the loop.
No, yeah,
Exactly.
that's so true.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, most people are spending a good chunk of their day in the virtual world, you know? So if I wasn't in it, you know, or our core members weren't in that, you know, if we were older,
Mhm.
like over 30,
Okay.
then maybe we wouldn't be able to relate to certain things. Huh.
Yeah, I saw that like looking now back like at our year 1 and then year 2, I can really see the difference because like the year 1 leader, she was a little more older than you, or probably a lot. What do you think, a lot older? I don't know, but she was no hate, no shame, but like she was
I wasn't until you said that.
she was pretty she's pretty old. She's pretty older. She's older. She's really older. But like I can like I can see this change like with her and then with you because we had like you the second year. So like I'm like, oh, it's like a big change. Like it was more of like a community. I
Yeah,
guess.
this is gonna be a thing now. I'm like gonna bring on more people to the Young Church podcast, and they're just gonna roast me every time. She's gonna get
Yeah.
roasted. This is why it's a solo seat. It's a hot seat, I guess.
No, emotional maturity. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Yeah.
Trying to really, let's just move on.
Trying to back it up.
Do you think Jesus would use social media?
I've thought about this so often, and I feel like, you know, like the kind of stereotypical, like the dating app covers where the guy's holding the fish. Like, I feel like Jesus would be holding a fish in his profile picture.
Really?
'Cause he's
Okay.
like, I've thought
Yeah.
about this, and he'd have like
Oh,
a
yeah.
highlight, and it's
Yeah.
like carpenter
Funny.
stuff. And it's
Carpenter, yes.
like, I've thought about, or it's like miracles highlight, miracles part 2. Like, I've thought about this because we had to do a project on it for religion, and it was like make an Instagram page for Jesus.
Wow.
And so I was like, it was like the word, and it's just like a bunch of different, like,
Okay, I can
videos
kind of
of
see
him.
that.
I me too.
Yeah.
I've never thought of
like
that
Jesus
before.
would be
Yeah.
like Instagram savvy, I think. Like he would
Really?
be cool.
But I don't.
Yeah.
Do you think he would be like concerned about like lights and like the camera and like that kind of stuff?
I feel like he'd be one of those people that's like so cool that their Instagram, you know what I mean? Like some people don't even have to try. Like they're just like kind of
So
cool with
cool.
it. Like he's like
Yeah.
a digital camera, and he's just like
Well, that'd be cute.
on
Yeah, I
film.
can see that.
Just like
With
chilling
my boy,
there.
yeah,
He's
like-
like
He's living life.
posts up. He's just like eating cereal.
yeah,
Yeah.
like at Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Like he's just like
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you would see Jesus using it.
yeah, but in like a health, like in a like spread my, like talk about my passion sort of way. You know what I mean? Like
Okay.
a humble way. You know?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, he wouldn't show like this big like swordfish that he caught or something.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, this is the fish that I made out of my miracle because God's my father and I love him. Like he would make it like,
Yeah.
you know?
Okay.
I thought about this.
Huh. I've never when I asked the question, my initial thought was no. Like I don't think Jesus would be. I really don't think he would like be on social media like that. Like I don't think he would be spending. And maybe he would post, but I don't see him like scrolling.
Yeah, I don't see
Like,
that.
do you see
No.
Jesus
No,
scrolling
no,
on
no,
social
no.
I
media?
feel like
He
he'd only
wouldn't
like
waste
birthday
time.
posts. Yeah.
What happened?
He would only like birthday posts.
But how would you get to that
I
point
don't
Yeah.
know.
where you would like? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
if he wouldn't like find himself just like, you know, constantly.
yeah, just
like,
sitting there like.
maybe just like every now and then, like, oh, like little update on my life, like, you know what I mean? Just like a little
Yeah.
So
snippets.
that's interesting to think about. So Jesus would use social media only to share.
Yeah. I
Not
feel
to
like he'd have a really
consume.
healthy relationship with it. Does that make sense?
What if you guys use social media like that only to share, not to consume?
I don't really share on social media.
So
I just
you just
watch.
delete it. Yeah. Oh,
Well,
I
I just
see.
watch because I try not to post like I have 2 accounts and I really like I'm very conscientious of what I post on both. Like I try not to post.
What do people call it? A Finsta?
A Finsta, yeah.
Finsta?
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
spam, your
But
spam.
it's not like it's not bad. And I like go through periods where like won't post on it for like 2 months, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I should probably like.
I need to. Why? Why?
Because you have an extra
I
account.
not need to. Yeah,
It's like it's kind of like
gotta let
it's
them
like
know what's
there.
up. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No, this is really insightful. I've never really. Yeah. Jesus scrolling. Yeah, I can't see that,
no.
but I can see what
Just
you
sharing.
described
Yeah,
about
he's
the.
like there.
He's like a business account almost.
He's like
You
a
know what I mean?
business
Yeah.
He's
account.
not a personal account. He's like he's advertising the word.
Yeah. Okay. Man. Yeah. We don't have a theology of technology.
No.
So that would be interesting. You know, someone could cook it up.
Yeah.
Cook it up. Maybe you can,
it up.
Ali.
I'm not very. I've given myself
Plan B.
multiple
Plan B.
viruses. Yeah, I'm not very good with technology.
Yeah.
But
Okay. Well, look, I think this is a great episode. I want to finish and close with why Jesus? So it's a personal question. It's a PIQ in the flesh right here. Like, why Jesus for you? Like, why Jesus?
Like, why did we pick Jesus? Or
Yeah, like why Jesus? Like, you can answer that however you want. However you want to take that, I'll take that answer. You know what I mean? Like, why Jesus for you? Like, why Jesus for the world? Why Jesus? However you want to answer that. Yeah.
I say why Jesus because why me? Like, why did he come down and like make himself a human and go through pain and death for me? Why did he save me in multiple times in my life where I've like really thought like that things were never going to get better? There's been multiple times where he's like showed up and showed out for me again and again and again. And so I think like believing in something bigger than myself, and when everything in the world is like it's not constant, like everything's changing all the time, especially as I'm getting older and like I'm going into like adulthood now and the next steps of my life, everything's changing, but my love for Jesus and his love for me doesn't change. And so I think like when everything's stormy, when everything's moving, that's like the one rock solid thing that I have.
That's really good. Thank you, Ali.
I feel like for me, it's more like this is like the only thing that I've truly like been so like determined with and really like confident in. Like this is like the one thing that I've put my all into, besides like my relationships with my family and other people. But I feel like God himself, like, and Jesus, like, it's just been such a great journey, like growing for the past 4 years. Like I've really been like through a lot, and I feel like through it all, like he's always been there for me and with me and walked me like through life. And I feel like he's the one thing that I can like really like know that he'll be there for me like by the end of time. Like anything that I do in life will like, that's all that matters is my relationship with him, because I have him by my side.
Yeah, thank you both. I'm going to close in prayer and we'll be done here. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Come, Holy Spirit. Dear Lord, I thank you for Frida and Ali and for their testimonies. I just ask that you continually work in their hearts, as well as anyone who's listening to this podcast. May you bless them. May you just give them a hope and a peace that is not of this world. And ultimately, I hope that you give us all greater wisdom and understanding so that we too can answer the question, why Jesus? Amen.